Good morning. It's high five time. It's Friday, and it's going to be the last high five of this week. And I want to talk to you today about the weekly Torah portion in Israel. You know, in just a few hours, Israel is 8 hours ahead of us. In just a few hours, they're going to have begin their Shabbat, and everything closes down in Israel. I'm not kidding. You know, there's even they don't in the Torah portion this week it's all about Shabbat, and in Israel, you know, in the Word of God. And let me just read to you the Torah portion for this week where it begins. It's called, let me see, I have a weekly Torah portion book, and this one is called Vayakel, and he assembled. And it's from Exodus. It starts in Exodus 35:1 and it ends in Exodus 38:20. If any of you want to read what everybody else around the world, all the Jewish people around the world are reading tomorrow. And he said, Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together and said to them, "These are the things that the Lord has commanded you to do. 6 days you shall work to be done, and on the seventh day shall have a holy day, a Sabbath to the rest of the Lord. Whoever does any work on it must be put to death." Oh my goodness. "You must not kindle fire on any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day." And back then, they were just teaching about the Sabbath. People aren't put to death now. You know, it's just, they were just teaching them about the seriousness of God. And this is something that God has really been working with me this year, because, you know, you can run yourself just ragged. And I want to read to you, I get a Tora.org, Project Genesis, in the email. And I got this today. I thought it was so interesting. Because it says, "As always, a challenge offers an opportunity. So this quarantine Shabbat, there are several challenges. First and foremost, time with family is a precious thing. News reports claim that hundreds of people emerged from quarantine in China and ran to divorce court. Spending weeks together was too much for them to bear." You know, some people aren't used to spending time with each other and talking to each other. Here's another one. "On the other hand, someone told me that he and his wife had caught several social media posts from people who said that with no sports to watch on TV, they ended up having a conversation with a very nice person on the other couch who ended up to be married to them. It's a terrible thing it took the global virus for them to rediscover their spouses, and it's certainly a positive outcome." You know, when we had one of the hurricanes, I can't remember, I think it was Ike, and we didn't have any power down here in Texas City, Texas. And, you know, so you don't have any power. So guess what? If you don't have a generator, everything in your freezer starts to melt. And we decided to have to do a cookout. And so what we did is we took the meat from our freezer and we put it on the grill. And we started having, and we invited the neighbors. We invited all the neighbors over, and we came and we sat in our patio and we talked. Some of these neighbors we have never met before. And so during that time when we didn't have power, and we're on a forced Shabbat, you might say a forced Sabbath rest, during that time, we got to know our neighbors. But guess what? When the power came back on, we haven't talked to them since. Isn't that funny? People these days aren't used to quiet. They're not used to not having something to watch, something to follow. And it's just, you know, take this opportunity to do something nice, and not when the quarantine is over end up in divorce court. Let's be kind to each other. You know, the thing is that the Sabbath rest is a gift. God gave it to us as a gift. And to the people that weren't used to it, it didn't seem like a gift. But when God gives you a gift, there's always a blessing in it. God bless you. Bye-bye. Oh, I don't mean that coronavirus is from God. I believe that God will take everything the devil means for harm and he will turn it for our good. But the Shabbat has always been meant to be a blessing. Okay? God bless. Bye-bye.